And the other day I was just standing like in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth, getting ready. He's in the shower, just, pressure washing his asshole. I was like, I'm standing right here.
Another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Holiday show week.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Post Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Feeling very thankful.
We are very thankful for all of you and for tagging us in all of your beige carb photos.
Whoa. Are you okay? Like, did your yeah, I was like, is their Instagram going to shut down? Did you run out of storage?
I'll get into it later. But this is a special day because we're recording on Sunday.
Literally, if you're listening to this on Monday, we recorded the day before. It's 2:37. We were supposed to start at noon. We had a lot to catch up on because, Rain and I, we weren't together for the last week. We did text every second of the day, but it's just not the same. So we do have to come back in and in person talk about Selling Sunset, everything we did over the last week, talk shit on everybody. We got to really go hard and catch up in person.
You know what's so funny is the amount of times we've said, all right, we got to get started. And it is, I said I had a heart out at 1. It's 2:37.
Hard out at 1. All I've had today is a half a banana because I was like, I'm just going to head up to the studio and just, record really quick.
Yeah.
I'm like starving.
And a handful of Cheez-Its. So funny. I said I had to leave at 1.
I know. I was like, do you have something to do? I mean, you'll say that and I'll be like, what do you got to do? You're like, I got to get my nails done. I got to go shop for outfits for the shows because I didn't think ahead. Like, I don't know. What did you have to do today that you're clearly not doing?
I made a plan with Melanie. But I also said it's kind of cold. And she was like, it is kind of cold. And then she's my friend that doesn't live here. So we were trying to link up. And then we were trying to link. And I think we ghosted each other. I don't know. She says that I backed out, but I think she backed out.
You guys do that. I like it. I like that part about your friendship. You both feel, I feel like you have a unspoken energy between you when you both want to bail on your plans.
Also, I'm like I was like, maybe I'll come to Miami. She was like, you should come whether I'm there or not. And I was like, but are you going to be there? And she was like, whether I'm there or not, you should come.
That's so funny. I'd love to come hang out with you. Yeah, maybe not.
You should come. There, you should come. Well, whatever. That's it's like me and you. Me and her were like sisters, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, we just both got back in town and we have some really exciting stuff coming up this week. Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, you guys. Our holiday show is at the Beacon this week. It's going to be on December 5th on Sunday. So all you guys are coming. We cannot wait to see you there. The show is going to be absolutely insane. Planning the show has aged me. I've lost sleep. It's been a lot. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. I hope it all goes according to plan. It's going to be unlike any show we've ever done. It's going to be absolutely insane. Holiday madness, holiday spectacular. And the most amazing part is that's going to be live streamed. So even if you're not there, even if you didn't get tickets, you don't live in New York, it's sold out. Too late to get tickets now. You can watch it on this live stream. So there will be no better show to ever watch on a live stream than this one. You can buy tickets and you'll be able to view it on the 11th. So a week later, because we don't want to give away stuff happening at the Chicago show, whatever. We don't have to explain it to you. I guess live stream isn't accurate, but it is going to be
it was live while we were
live. We're live on stage, whatever. I don't know the other word to use. So you can watch it like it's essentially a holiday special on starting the 11th, and then you'll have access for a week or something. But whatever, just grab the tickets now and you'll be ready to go. You can have a holiday party, whatever you guys want to do, but you're not going to want to miss it. And you can get those tickets at girlsgottepodcast.com. Go to our site and click on live shows. And it's presented by Moment House. So you'll be brought to a site that's Moment House and you can buy those tickets.
Yes. So that'll be 7 p.m. on the 11th. That'll be available. Yes. Get your friends together, charcuterie boards, have a big party, invite everybody over. You guys love to do that. We love that you make a whole thing out of it. So you guys are going to love it. It's going to be fucking crazy. I've been working on our outfits for days. Great holiday.
I'm going to talk to you about that after this.
Okay. We'll talk about it after this. Great guests. And Ashley's family, not mine, because they don't love me as much as Ashley.
They'll be in Chicago.
I have cousins coming, a bunch of cousins coming.
Yeah. And also, like we mentioned last week, if you guys are coming to either holiday show, email us any crazy stories, holiday related, friend roasts, single guys who are coming to the audience. Let us know their stats. We just got a good email about this guy that's coming. Yeah, so we're going to give him some attention. Dress up like sexy Santa if you want to. We encourage it. And if you have any really crazy dating stories that are holiday related that you need mansplained by a very special guest, you guys can take your guesses. He's going to be at both shows.
And sexts.
Yes.
Bring your sexts.
And bring your sext. Of course, we know you have them in your phone, but just have them queued up, screenshot, whatever it is. And for stuff you're sending us, the email address is stories@girlsgotteatpodcast.com.
And then also, if you're listening to this today, we are doing a Cyber Monday sale. All of our merchandise is 10% off at girlsgotteatpodcast.shop. The code is Snack Friday. You guys can get a full range, every single thing on the site. So any like gifty items you want, mugs, stickers, any kind of dog stuff, sweatshirts, sets, all the stuff. We're really obsessed with it. So grab that, girlsgotteatpodcast.shop. And then the holiday deadline for ordering is December 3rd. But check all that out. And we have gift cards if you missed the deadline.
Yes, and tickets to other shows. There is a handful left in some cities. Portland, get your shit together, like I said before. And we added a show for you. But yeah, I don't know where everything stands. A lot of shows are sold out, but into 2022, there are still some tickets available. So you guys can go to girlsgotteatpodcast.com and see what is available. I'm just going to take a guess that there are tickets left in Portland, maybe a few left in LA and San Francisco.
There was like 20 left in San Francisco. DC, there's some tickets left.
Maybe some tickets left in DC. So anyway, just check that out. And we're still working on more 2022 dates that we will announce as soon as we're able to.
Yeah. But Pittsburgh, we're coming in May. It'll be May.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey.
We'll see you soon. In Toronto, we know.
We're on it. Yeah, we're on it.
Okay, well, that's all the announcements. It was a great holiday week, you guys. Thank you so much. I know that I make a big joke about including us in all your tags of what you're doing, but I just love to see what you're doing with people that you love. I know the holidays can be hard, but it's nice to see everybody just having a good meal and sharing it with people. And we love that you post something and tag us. So it was nice to be a part of that with you guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of more Raina's friends on Thanksgiving. A lot of beige carbs, but I did get some videos and some tags, and people were sending me some videos of them scaring their roommate or their significant other. So I like you guys scaring people. Keep doing it. It'll never get old to me.
I know, I'm getting those too. Those are really funny. Yeah. And you guys have not tagged me in as many memes this week, so thank you.
Well, let's talk about your trip. Because listen, I feel like you and I got more action while we were home for Thanksgiving than we have in New York in the last 6 months.
We love getting action out of town.
I love a hometown date. Call me the Bachelorette, because I will love a hometown date.
You did it last year too.
It's my one tradition. Okay, but let's talk about.
I went home. It was a little bit. It was kind of sad. A lot of people didn't come home. My brother didn't come. My sister-in-law and cousins and stuff weren't really there. But it was really nice to be home. I stayed with my dad. It was my second time ever seeing his place in Pittsburgh since he moved back. So that was really great to spend some time with them. I saw House of Gucci.
You did?
I did.
I didn't even know this. We've been talking for 3 hours.
We'll talk about Rex later. And I'll tell you how I feel about it. But I really liked it. I'm only bringing this up now because I'm upset, but people messaged us a lot. It was my first time going home after a recent breakup. And I know that the holidays can be really hard for people. We get a lot of messages from people that family dynamics are tough, or they just went through a breakup, or they're going with a significant other and that family dynamic is tough. So Ashley and I have done a lot of episodes about this. We're not going to rehash all the advice, but I do know that it can be a really hard time of year for people. So if you go to our website, just search the episodes for stuff like holidays or family. We do have a lot of episodes where we've talked about this and just ways to kind of deal, because it can be tough. One of my best friends just went through a crazy breakup, and she's the last thing in the world I want to do is go to a family party right now.
Yeah. It also depends on your family. I mean, I went through a crazy breakup literally beginning of December, and then the only place I wanted to be was home with my family. But
100%.
It still got. Remember, I had to leave Christmas brunch, and I peed in the woods. I mean, it wasn't pretty. It was I was still fucked up.
Yes, it kicks up a lot of feelings, especially you and I were talking about. If it's the first time you're going home without this person,
yes,
to a place that you've only been to with them. For example, my dad moved to this place. I'd only been there with my ex, and of course, being alone in the holidays for the first time without your partner is really tough and kicks up a lot of feelings for people. It wasn't really a thing for me. I mean, I'm not I'm not so fucked up over it, but I've said this on the podcast before. So if you don't make it a thing, other people won't. So I've had friends that are how are you doing? And I'm I'm fine. And then you just change the subject.
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome to just say, I don't want to talk about this and keep it moving. You control the narrative.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just like wasn't a thing for me. No one bothered me or asked. And I think people let me control it. If I wanted to talk about it, I could have.
Yeah. And you have the luxury of like announcing it on the show. Like people got the info if they listen to the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I have friends that have gone through recent breakups and they're like, this is my worst nightmare. So I get it. I sympathize. Just change the subject. That's it.
Yeah, that is tough. Like if you just went through a breakup and it's the holidays and you're around like all these other couples and you came to a place you used to go to. I mean, I was telling you that my parents built this new house in 2015 on the farm where they live, not my childhood home. They built like a new house and that's where we go now, obviously. And I went there the first 2 times I ever went were with my ex. Like the first time we went to the house right after it just got built. Then the next time after it was built and they were moved in, like I only had memories with him in the house. And then the next time I went back, we had been broken up. It fucked me up everywhere I looked. Like I hadn't been there without him. So it was like, and now I'm here without him for the first time and it's the holidays. Like this is fucked. And you just have to get over it because my parents aren't going to burn down the house and build a new one. You know what I mean? Like I just had to make new memories and be like, hey, like shake it off, you know? But there's nothing you can really do. You just, if it's a place you have to go to, you just have to make new memories and that's that.
That's the advice you gave me because I was like, I'm sleeping in this bed like without my ex, and the only time I've ever slept here is with him, and so it's like weird, exactly like you said, to like wake up in that place, they're not there, and it's the holiday, and you're like, this like makes me feel a certain way, and you were like, you just got to make new memories, and that's all it is. Maybe the first time sucks, and the second time is just less bad.
Yeah. Just get also over time, it goes away.
It goes away, and also if you can make out with a hometown crush, always helpful.
You guys, listen, Rain and I have very different tastes. Can't stress it enough. It's a beautiful thing about our friendship. This is the guy we agree on. I was just looking through photos. Can you send some of them to me? I want them in my spank bank. He is so hot. He has a look that crosses over both of our tastes for whatever reason.
He really is so hot.
He's so hot.
He is so you guys sort of know who this person is if you guys remember.
If you've been following along.
Back in January, I think it was an episode, I was on a date with him. He's the last person I slept with before my previous relationship.
Yeah.
And I was on a date with him in Pittsburgh, and this girl who's a fan wanted to approach me, but she said I tried to, and there was too much making out, and I couldn't.
You guys, I mean, I just went through like a camera roll of these pictures of you guys. You guys are so cute. I can feel the sexual energy.
And I was saying to you a couple weeks ago that it has been hard for me to kind of like get my mojo back. Not because I'm so sad. I haven't felt like dating.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like it. I don't feel like I need to I don't need the validation that I'm like worthy enough or that I'm still a sexual person. And if you feel like that and you need to go on a date immediately after your breakup, I understand it. I've done it. I validate it. I've certainly done it a lot. But yeah, I haven't been feeling like so sexual. So it was nice to just like make out with somebody from my past because it didn't feel like such a commitment. And also like get to know anybody.
Totally. You're going to like making out with him.
Yeah.
He's not going to hit you with some like weird kissing moves.
Yeah.
Thin lips.
We didn't have to talk about like, what are we afterwards either.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't sleep together. And I also had this feeling of like, I'm kind of done sleeping with people that I don't intend to date. So there was no reason to do it. It was just nice to have like a fun night. And
I mean, there's reasons.
You're right. Who is she?
It's called the orgasm or the feeling of a body laying on top of you. I'll take it. I will listen to anybody that's listening. I will sleep with you even if I'm not trying to take you. Just lay on top of me.
I didn't need to like get naked and like go through the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna date you.
Seriously, sometimes you just want to make out.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And I didn't have to worry, like, what are we? I texted him at the end of the night and he texted me back. I was like, I never thought about it again.
I love that. It's so fun.
So that was my trip home. That was really fun. I don't know that I'm like ready to like date people, but like it was nice to get a little action. He's so beautiful.
I do feel like that was the perfect thing to get over the hump. Without the hump, apparently, but
yeah. I have been thinking about fucking the guy that I dated before this. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's over. Anyways, I think that's the only thing that happened in Pittsburgh. How was your trip?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love a hometown date. I had texted Raina on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I'm like, why is my Thanksgiving tradition that I go on a date the Tuesday before Thanksgiving? This is the 2nd year in a row.
You also drove there and back with the person you went on last year's date with.
All right. All right. You know what? Yes.
I totally forgot this. that you went on a date last year. You guys became friends, and then you guys drove back and forth this time.
Yeah, that guy from last year's date lives in Delaware, so now we're friends. He rode back and forth with me. No, okay. I kind of got set up, I guess, and I met up with this person the Monday night before Thanksgiving, like a group setting, like my brother and his wife. Was really fun, like went to Starboard Raw. And then the next day I had to get back up to see my girlfriend. So I just had like a couple hours left at the beach, and he messaged me, and then I was going to take Azul to the beach. And I was like thinking of how I could kind of hang out with this person a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to take Azul to the beach. If you want to meet me. And he was like, yeah, sure. So he met me out at the beach, and I parked on the street that I like to park on sometimes, kind of like in between Rehoboth and Dewey. And I noticed they were doing a lot of construction. Like they were building a house. It was really loud. I hate construction noises. I just was like, whatever, but I'm just parking here. We're going to walk down to the beach. So I didn't think much of it. And he met me on the beach. I was out there with Azul, and it was freezing. The wind chill, it was like 30.
I couldn't believe you went. I was like, maybe it's not as cold there as it is
so
here.
Cold, so windy. Like I love the beach in the off season. I like it when it's cold, but when it's cold and windy, it's really pretty brutal. On the water, like it's just, you can't hear each other talking because it's like windy. Like it was a lot. I was freezing. I was just like, I'm really cold.
I was like, she's so brave.
So we walk on the beach, and I was just cold. It's like your mouth starts to get cold, you know? And so we walked kind of far, and we were going to turn back, and we go to turn back, and it was too windy to even do it. So we had to come up into Dewey to walk on the street, which then it was nice because I got to give him a tour of like, here's where I woke up in this bush, you know, like it was funny. And so like, here's when I get kicked out of the cork. Like
that, like when we get like really crazy famous, you will be like a Sex and the City bus tour in Delaware.
But there's like 5
Dewey.
stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause we walked by this place. I was like, oh, I lived here the summer I turned 21, like whatever.
And
he
where
was
I lost
like,
my virginity.
He was like, wow, that's a pretty baller place. I'm like, no, there were 7 of us, 2 bedrooms. Don't get it twisted. I was in a bunk bed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is where I lost my virginity. I always point that out. So we're walking back, and we ended up at my car, and we were still talking. So, you know, you just want to keep talking to somebody. We're standing by my car talking, and the construction noise is at a 10. Like it was unreal. They were like pounding these metal things into the ground. There's bulldozers. We're in a construction zone.
I can't believe you lasted this long.
But we joked about it again, like days later. We went on another date, and we were like, what were we supposed to do? It was freezing.
Worse than the FEMA tents last year.
So that's what I was going to say. Like I was having flashbacks from dating in winter of 2020 in the Fire Festival tents, drinking hot sake out of a plastic shot glass. Like it was crazy. And we probably stood there and talked for like 20, 30 more minutes over this noise, but not really knowing what to do. What are we going to sit in the car? Like it was weird. We should have been like, let's go get a coffee or anything else.
Yeah.
Instead, we just went with it. And so I walked away from that interaction, and I had told you, I was like, I'm going to go meet this guy, whatever. You were like, did you have fun? And like, I was like asking myself, like, did I have fun? I was like, I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel about the last 2 hours. Like I was so uncomfortable physically and so non-ideal that like, I'm not even sure.
The weather would bother me more than it bothers you. The sound bothers you more than it bothered me. But the duel together is unbearable. I don't know how you did it.
I was like, I cannot believe we're doing this again. I have such PTSD from last winter. Like I was like, I feel like I'm back there. I feel like I'm back in those dark days of dating.
You really did it. Outdoor dating.
But it was kind of funny. I think it's funny to like experience. Like I think it's funny to look back on something. Like I texted him later in the day. I was like, I had a really good time today, despite freezing and being in the construction zone. Like 'cause I said something funny about it, and he was like, same. And then we went out again, like dinner, bouncing around to the bars, stuff like that. So yeah, it was fun. He is cute and funny and cool, and so you know we'll see. But overall, the week was just kind of crazy. I did a lot. My brother was like, "Can you relax?" It was a lot.
It was a lot for me too. I went like pretty hard on the alcohol. The food was not so bad. I think that you eat. I mean, a few weeks ago, so we have similar eating habits, and you were like, "I'm gonna have to cut this."
Oh yeah, Raina was like, "We have similar eating habits." I'm like, "We don't," but no.
You actually have like portion control, and I don't. I think that's like also a big difference between us.
I mean, I went hard. We went to this Mexican place, Taco Grande. It's at the riverfront. Can't recommend it
eat when you eat, but like I like have not like
sick.
ashamed of myself. What I do.
No, I felt sick. Okay. We had the nachos, and I was full, and then I was like, "Let's get the fajitas."
I had so many Thanksgiving dinners. I just like feel beat up. And it's the alcohol that I feel beat up from this time. Normally I have like a problem with portion control, but it's the pounding alcohol for 4 days.
Yeah, it was just a lot. I have to tell you this like very funny quote. We had a lot of people at Thanksgiving dinner. I was sitting at the end of the table with Lindsay and Buck, who this is my cousin and her husband, who You and Buck like really do have a relationship. Like you guys got really close. I feel like at the wedding, at Matt's wedding. And like, he was like, I really miss Raina. I'm like, I know. So I'm excited you'll be there for Christmas. He's so funny. Like I don't even know if he knows it. He said this quote. Do you know this thing, Oak Island? Have you heard of this? The Curse of Oak Island. It's a show on the History Channel, but it's also like a thing. It's this like island off Nova Scotia. There's all this shit buried. People think there's treasure. It's crazy.
Okay.
I got the whole lowdown on it.
Sounds really interesting.
And Buck's talking about it. And this thing came out of his mouth so casual. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was talking about it. He goes, I'm a treasure hunter at heart. I just don't do it. I was like, what? I said, hold up. I was like, can we run that back?
Pirate's life for me?
He literally said, I'm a treasure hunter at heart. I just don't do it. What? Who? What is this line?
What does that mean? I like in another life.
Stopped
he was a pirate
everything
on a ship.
He likes to. Lindsay's like, he'll be in the backyard digging stuff up. I'm like, what? I was like, you're a metal detector on the beach guy, aren't you? He's like, I am. I'm like, oh my God.
I never thought I'd meet one of them.
Treasure hunter.
You like see people like that and you're like, I'm sure they have a family, and it's Buck. You're like, I hope they have a good life at home. But he like does.
He kept the conversation going. I go, stop. I was like, I have never been so upset that Raina isn't here right now. Because you would have caught on it the same way that I did.
I could just hear you going, what? I'm a treasure hunter at heart.
I just don't do it.
I just don't do it.
Like, because he's got a job, he's a fireman, all the things. Like, he's too busy to treasure hunt, but it's in his soul.
You just look at him, you could see it. It just that would be like his side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm sad I wasn't there.
I was really sad you weren't there. So anyway, guys, I guess The Curse of Oak Island you can watch on the History Channel.
That's interesting.
And also along those lines, The Curse of Von Dutch is a 3-part documentary on Hulu. I cannot recommend it enough. It has everything: crime, murder, drugs, celebrities, fashion, 90s, early 2000s nostalgia. It's everything. I love Von Dutch. I had a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
I had a wristband.
Yeah.
A wristband. What are we doing?
I had so much of it, almost as much of that as I had of Ed Hardy.
Oh no, I never did Ed Hardy or Affliction. God, no judgment. But Von Dutch, I kind of forgot how actually so huge it was, where literally like Whitney Houston was in the store, like Paris Hilton. I mean, you didn't finish the documentary, which I'm upset that you didn't. Cause I was so
later. It's not cause I didn't like it.
I was so enthralled by the whole thing. And when you really were brought back to the level of celebrity, like it was the A-listers. Nobody wasn't wearing Von Dutch at a certain point, and then kind of its downfall, but like also the story of how it started. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that it was started by like legitimate gangsters. Like I didn't know anything. And then at the end, there's this crazy twist. I'm not going to give it away, of like actually who Von Dutch was.
Well, they tell you in the very beginning. It's the beginning.
No, but like kind of
a different twist.
Controversial thing.
Well, that's the crazy thing, is that everybody like emblazoned their whole body with this shit. And like, I never knew who Von Dutch was or what that meant.
Well, you're in for a twist at the end.
I can't wait.
It's not good. But I didn't know any of this. I am obsessed with the 90s and the early 2000s. We all know this. And so anything about that, especially a brand that I was like really into for a moment in time, and I did not know that story. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about it. And I cannot recommend that documentary enough. Like, oh my God, I was just enthralled by every single second of it.
I can't wait to finish
So
it.
wild.
Okay. Well, I did love it. I didn't stop it because I stopped and I fell asleep, and then I went home for Thanksgiving. And then I had to watch all 10 episodes of Selling Sunset with my dad. And that's what I did when I was at home.
Guys, so Selling Sunset, we're going to talk about next week.
We have too much
We
to
honestly just need a bonus episode. Like, I know I don't even want to say this because then people are going to really beg for it. Maybe we'll be able to do it. We're super busy right now, but like, it's the show I talk about it the most.
Mm-hmm.
I posted some stuff on Instagram. You guys catch up, watch season 4, and then we'll discuss it next week.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch it with her
maybe
dad.
next week's episode will be about it. I don't know. I love the themes of like friendship and narcissism and toxicity and just, I loved it so much. So that's a teaser. Watch it, guys, and then we will catch up on it.
Get caught up.
And then I saw House of Gucci, which I really loved. I know it got like pretty panned in the reviews. I think the story is really fascinating.
It got what?
It got pretty panned.
What's that mean?
Like negative.
Oh.
They panned the reviews. No, that's not.
What word?
Like panned?
Pam, but the D in the end. It got bad reviews?
It got bad reviews.
Okay. Never heard that. Maybe it's a thing.
Guys, now I'm second guessing myself. Don't DM me about it. I'll
Panned. Oh my God.
People really like went after the accents that they were like bad. Jared Leto's character is a little ridiculous and like Mario Brothers esque, like Super Mario Brothers esque. But other than that, I think the story is really fascinating. The Gucci family, it's about Mauricio Gucci and his wife, Patrizia. I'm gonna just fucked up both those names. Whatever. They were a celebrity couple in Italy, and they're the owners of the Gucci empire. And it's just a story about their life. And it's a real story. She had him murdered. He basically left her and she hired a hitman and killed him. So it's a really fascinating story. I mean, I like to learn about fashion in general.
Is she played by Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga plays the wife of, I want to call him Mauricio. But
the one that killed her husband?
Yeah, she plays the one who kills her husband. She's phenomenal in it. Salma Hayek is in the movie as well, and Adam Driver. I think that it's some of the best acting I've ever seen. I mean, Adam Driver.
Gaga and Adam Driver, say less.
Phenomenal acting. Like, I was shook by it. I think the story is super interesting. Like, I don't fucking care if the accents were stupid. Like, I just don't care. I thought it was a great movie. So,
you try to do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
You know?
I think it's ridiculous in general. I think it's ridiculous to do a movie that's based in Italy about Italian people with Italian accents in English. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, true. Yeah, they're speaking English. Yeah, whatever.
English.
Yeah.
It's really stupid. But the movie...
Did Italian people say the accents are bad?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall people like panned it for the accents being really bad. Panned it.
Oh my God.
Don't DM me. I will Google it. And then I'm gonna see Spencer at some point because I don't really care about the royal family, but I listen to a podcast about Princess Di, and I think her story is really interesting. So I do want to see that movie, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm House of Gucci. I have not been to a movie theater since before COVID.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like.
I did not know this. I did not think about it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I like going to movies. I'm not like a total movie slut, but like I just haven't been. I don't know why. I guess, stuff's just coming on Netflix. Like it feels like less reasons to go. I'm not a big Marvel person, so I feel like I don't need to go see these crazy movies in the theater, but I'm not anti movie theater. And I think that's like, will be my first outing to the movie theater. They're going to show it at my favorite one. That's like on Second, the old school movie theater.
I never thought about this. Of course, you haven't been to a movie because I would have known about it. The last person I dated, I'm not going to say his name anymore because it gives him power like Voldemort. The last person I dated was a big movie person and a huge Marvel person. So I went and saw a lot of Marvel movies over the last year, and Cruella, which I was obsessed with. But yeah, you're right. Everything else has been on TV. We are so excited to welcome back a guest to the podcast. She is an actress, a comedian, an internet sensation. Oh. She is currently on a theater tour, and she is, in our opinion, the star of a new top movie on Netflix. Love hard. Please welcome back to the show, Heather McMahan.
Hi, ladies. How we doing?
Hi.
Oh, so good to be here.
We're so glad to have you here.
So nice. The last hour just talking shit on people.
We've literally been talking hard, aggressive shit on everyone.
It felt so cathartic.
It feels good. It feels so cathartic. Sometimes you just got to get like-minded gals together and you're like, I fucking hate everyone, right? Yeah, that's how I feel.
Love our fans.
Love our fans. Not y'all. We love you. But we're talking about just other individuals in our lives. Yeah.
And I was talking about truly being upset at how you were not in you weren't the star of Love Hard on Netflix. And I didn't know. And I feel like the movie was about being catfish, but I personally got catfish. And I was texting Raina. She watched it before me. And I was like, God, Heather's killing it. I'm so excited. I love this movie so much. She's making cocaine jokes. We're like out here. She's doing so great. I love this. And Raina was like, that's it.
That's it. That's a wrap. And then I just disappeared.
Yeah. Well, because the whole trailer to the movie is you and this girl walking through the park, and you're like, this is so funny. And I'm like, Ashley, your fun's about to end.
Yeah. You know what? It's 8 minutes of bamboozlement, and then I just disappear. And a lot of people were very upset. They're like, what happened to your character? And then, like you said, I just show up later and I'm drinking. I'm talking about like going to AA. We need to go back and figure out what happened to my character. Like, like what happened?
I think you're gonna have a spin-off show.
Yeah, I have to.
About what happened to you.
Right. Well, I mean, let's just say what it is. Netflix knows what they're doing. They're like, let's put this. Let's
take Heather. Let's put her in the trailer. Let's really get people in, and then let's just break your heart when you realize she's dead after 8 minutes.
They're like, what should we do at the end of this? Love Actually. Let's just copy it. I'm just like, no offense. No, the movie's cute. You guys should check it out. It's probably still number 1 or 2 on Netflix.
It is cute. cute.
But it's wild now being kind of in that world. Like you see how this happens, and like we had to do this a press thing where we did a Instagram live or whatever, and everyone's getting like full hair and makeup, and I just showed up. I was like, you guys, I'm just on Instagram every day of my life. You know what I mean? Like I'm working with like real professional stars who are like, brush their hair before they go on camera. I was like, cool. All right, y'all are way more professional than I am.
I know. Well, you do. Do you do your own glam? Don't you? Like you're
For my shows, I do. Yeah.
Well, and so do we. And we think it's funny when people start to tour and they bring in hair and makeup. And we're like, oh, you'll
sweetie,
learn.
You'll learn.
Will not work out.
Yeah.
Like,
but now it's an old theater rule because I'm more of a theater kid that, you always did your own makeup. So if like you're on the Broadway, you're always backstage doing your own makeup unless you're in Wicked and you got to, spray paint yourself green.
Who has time for it?
Who has time?
We used to like contact all these companies to come on site and do our hair and makeup. I'd be running to Dry Bar before shows. To Sephora before shows. Like, I'd be like, Ashley, I'll see you in an hour and a half, like killing myself to get this done. And I just learned how to do it myself.
I don't have time for it. I have a nice clip and weave. Shout out to Salty Locks Hair. I clip that bad boy in. And then I start most of my shows in another wig. So I have a weave under a wig. And then I like rip my pants off stage. I do a quick change. It is old school, high school theatrics.
My favorite thing that our assistant does on the road with us is I hand off my weave to her before shows.
Absolutely.
She curls it for me.
I know. During Fashion Week, there was this clip that was making the rounds, and it was a whole like fucking luggage cart of hair, basically. Yeah. And they were like, this is Rihanna's hair or some shit. And I sent it to Bella. I was like, is this giving you like flashbacks of Raina? Because I've like peeked out in the hallway at the hotel and Raina's like handing off her hair.
I bought her tools. I bought her this thing that sticks to the wall now that she can
hell yeah.
Because she used to clip my extensions either into her hair or in her mouth and curl them there.
Just like suck on the end. Remember that girl in school who would always, you'd find her like in the corner sucking on her hair? That's her. But she's like sucking on it and curling it at the same time.
She dates the guy that flips his eyelids up.
Oh, the fucking guy. Or the guy who's always like in a wolf t-shirt howling at the moon and he's got a milk mustache and he's like 35. You're like, how old is Chad? And they're like, he says he's 13, but I'm pretty sure he's 35 and got out of prison for tax fraud.
Chad's kids are also in the school.
Yeah, Chad's kids are also, and they're seniors. Yeah.
Chad's just a super senior.
Yeah, the glam on the road, it's just, I have like my toolkit, like an old school caboodle, and I just pull that shit out, put on a brow, and let's roll,
So you're in the middle of your tour right now.
Yeah.
Literally last night you had a show, tonight you have a show.
Yeah.
We're going Friday.
Yes, can't wait.
Do you want to talk about it at all? Like, how's it going? How's it being back on the
it's
tour?
been amazing. Y'all know it's like being back on the road. It's so good to see people again, and it feels like I gotta be honest, it feels like nothing happened and everything happened.
Yeah.
Like being back on the road, I'm like, oh, we're back. We're live. We're doing it.
Yeah.
I did get out on the stage the first time, like back in August at my first show. I was like, do I remember how to do my job? Do people know that they showed up to like see me? But it's been fucking amazing. It's great. I'm still having to like navigate a little bit of having to tell people, do not DM me before the show and ask me where parking is. God damn it. Google it.
People, we were laughing about this. People will DM me at 6 p.m. I'm looking for a place in the area for drinks. And I'm like, I'm at my show.
People will message, please don't start yet. We're running late. The audacity of y'all is bananas.
You guys
bold.
think it's like, it's a gift because you guys think we're your friends and we're going to give you Rex.
And I love it. But no, I cannot meet you at 7:59 for shots across the street when the show's at 8 because this is my job. Yeah.
But every once in a while, don't you think like, what if I did show up?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were talking about this. We got invited to a bunch of Halloween parties in Boston and we were like, listen, if we see an Instagram story that fits the right vibe, we'll go.
We'll show up. Yeah. We'll roll through.
So we had you on the show, exactly 3 years ago in the fall.
Yeah.
And you were this like huge like Instagram sensation and you went on tour and like you're a one-woman show.
Yeah.
And you were not engaged when we had you on the show?
Maybe not engaged. I got engaged beginning of 2019. So yeah, maybe not.
No, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So this would happen.
The Italian wedding is like,
the Italian wedding. Yeah, it's going to happen next summer.
Okay.
I got pissed off. Obviously I was a COVID bride and I think as an entertainer, like people think, oh, like I'm going to want to be bridezilla. I'm going to have that moment. But for me as an entertainer, like it's too much pressure. Everything's got to be perfect. And not from the sense of like, I need to wear white and it's about me. I'm like, I need to throw the biggest fucking rager party. I need to make sure that everybody leaves going, that was the best fucking wedding I ever went to.
Yeah,
so like when they come to my shows, that was the best comedy show I've been to. But here's the thing. Yeah, I'm married to an Italian, American Italian, but if you do business with Italians, if you think you're going to give them a down payment to say, I don't know, a caterer, and you're ever going to see that money again, you fucking won't. So at this point, I'm like, we might as well have the fucking party, right? So
You booked this pre-COVID.
I booked this pre-COVID. I planned this.
When was it supposed to happen?
It was supposed to happen fall of 2020.
Got it. Okay.
And then we rescheduled for last summer, but at the beginning of last summer, and Italy still wasn't open yet.
Right.
So now we pushed it another year. I was like, fuck it. Yeah. So I've been in Italy 4 times in the last 4.5 years, planned this.
Your trips there are just so iconic, and the way they embrace you, I'm like, is Heather the most famous person in Italy?
Honestly, after Love Hard going #1 on Netflix, I think I am.
I'm like the way she thrives there.
I just do well. I have my people. That's my spot. Those are my places. I get there and I feel alive. I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, and the thing that speaks to me the most that you talk about is I am eating my face off.
Yeah.
I am drinking wine every night. I'm fucking lit up, full, not gaining a pound.
No, not getting a pound, except you do have to take magnesium with you because I did.
Why? What's that?
The last time magnesium helps you stay regulated. I did get travelers where I just didn't shit for a week and a half.
Not shit for a week and a half, and it makes me, because I'm like that. So I eat pretty healthy day to day, eat salads. I work out a lot, but when I go on a trip, I will eat whatever, whenever I want to experience this place. I'm probably not going to go back to. So I will pound pasta or pizza or whatever the fuck, and I never shit. So you got to take stuff with you.
You have to take your emergency Metamucil, the magnesium, anything. Because I was having a great time, but I was slowly rotting and dying on the inside.
I have had to bring
that more.
I will bring anal suppositories with me. I will bring Seneca.
That's Bella's next job.
She's got to put them in her mouth and just place them up there. Yeah.
Please iron my hair and then come stick this in my booty hole.
I was in Miami last year in February with one of my best friends, Emily, and she couldn't poop for days. I was like, girl, I got you. We're going to go to CVS. We're going to get anal glycerin suppository.
There you go.
Stick it up your butt. You'll be regulated in 5 seconds. You hold it there for 10 seconds. It will explode out of your insides. Listen, I'm not a doctor, guys. Talk to your doctor first.
Talk to your doctor.
I'm not, listen, some people are going to be like, you can't be recommending that. Guys, I'm not recommending it. Don't do anything I would do. I'm just saying this worked for me.
I give so much unsolicited medical advice on Instagram and people take it and it's wild to me. It's a fucking bit. There are days where I'm like, take the magnesium. I enjoy it. But if you actually were to listen to one of us who are just raging assholes and take a drug without Googling it, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's fully on you.
But those people still won't get the vaccine. But that's another thing. All right. Tell us about married life. I love that you live with your mom.
Yes.
It's unconventional, but it seems like you guys are thriving.
Yeah, I mean, I have a really close relationship with my mom, and I always even when my dad was alive, he would have loved us all just living on a compound together.
Yes.
We're a tight group. And then kind of what happened was we were living in New York when the pandemic happened, and then we bugged out and we got back to Atlanta to keep an eye on her because she's a widow. And then we got down there and she's like, "Listen, I don't want to sell the house. I want to keep it in the family. Y'all cool to move in?" Just "Oh yeah, we'll take it immediately." So really, it was his decision because he also gets treated like a fucking king. I'm chopped liver at my house. Jeff, my mom's like, "No, the 55 meatballs are for Jeff. He's hungry." I'm like, "He's put on 45 pounds. This fucker does not need another meatball." And I can't eat a thing. She'll slap my hand. "You don't need it. You don't need it. It's for him." I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, Robin and Robin's my mom, but my mom and my husband, Jeff, they go out on dates together. They have a fucking blast. And I'm like the third wheel. I'm driving them. They sit in the back seat like they're on a date. I'm the Uber driver. I mean, it's bullshit.
The dynamic is crazy. I will never forget when I was engaged, my mom was flipping out on me in front of my fiance. She looks at him and goes, "You know what I'm saying?" And I was like, "Don't get him involved in this."
That is
what
so
are you
funny.
doing?
Oh yeah. And I mean, Jeff and I have a great relationship, but you have marital spats in the days where we're arguing in the kitchen. My mom's fully on Jeff's side.
Yes. That happened one time on a vacation with my ex-boyfriend. My mom pulled him aside. She was like, "Is everything okay?" Him.
Yeah.
She's just making sure everything's okay. I'm crying, walking to the beach in tears.
Your mom's like, "Listen, we've been dealing with Ashley twice as long as you, and we get it."
You're weeping by a random gazebo, and literally your mom's holding your boyfriend, "Do you need a drink? Do you need a snack, sweetie?"
I don't even know how she picked up on the fight. We were walking, and all of a sudden she poked her head out. It was what's going on here? She felt the energy. And she was like, "I need to intervene."
She felt the energy that you were fucking something up for her.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a doozy. They love to gang up on me, and I'm just I'm a shell of a human. And then you go out on the road, right? So I'm working every weekend. I'm doing my damn thing. And then I come home and all I want is just to be doted on a little bit, right? The road is not as glamorous as people think it is. And then I get home and literally my mom's like, "The cat threw up on the rug." Jeff's he pulled something in his leg. He's having a heart attack. I'm like, can I just have one fucking day where I go into the basement, turn the lights off?
Yeah.
I'm not here. Don't ask me a question. Don't ask me to fix anything. I can't fix your lives. That's where I'm at.
It is so funny. You were I saw your Instagram story. You're it's always Saturday. She needs me to carry something.
Yes, always. No, it's always a Sunday when I'm hungover. I fly in Sunday afternoon, maybe a little hungover, exhausted. My mom's like, we're rearranging the entire living room. And I'm like, no, today is my day off. And it doesn't matter how successful you are, even if you pay all the bills at your home.
They'll trap you down.
If you live with your mother, she will make you move furniture on a Sunday.
Every time I go back to Pittsburgh, which is like my couple days off to relax with my family, my mom wants me to go to the basement and go through every photo album we've ever had so we can throw some of this out. I'm like, my apartment is smaller than your basement. Not here to do this. I've flown here for a meal and then I'm leaving.
Right.
My mom does that too. We need you to go through some of your old stuff. I'm like, here's what's going to happen. When you guys die, I'm going to hire some TaskRabbits and we're going to do it then. Nothing's getting done before that. You have the room. It's staying in the boxes till you die. There's no chance I'm going through my stuff from elementary school.
Also, I have lived without it for 15 years, so chances are I'm going to make it through this month without it too.
Right. I'm kind of like, or just toss it. What do I care?
Or just set the house on fire and I'll walk away and take the insurance money.
Literally don't care. Set your jewelry somewhere else and just light the house on fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think it's funny though, because my family gangs up on me too. I think I'm like an easy target. I think it makes you who you are when you get picked on. You have to be, your family needs to tease you, fuck with you, whatever. I think it builds character, gives you a thick skin, all the things. But these days, I'm just like, I'm a star. Like, I feel like they
I totally agree. You are a star. And you know what? This is directed directly to your family. You deserve the respect.
That's how I feel.
Okay, my family says things to me. I will come home from performing for thousands of people. My mom will tell me to stop telling everybody how successful I am. Stop needing to tell her how busy I am, because all Ashley and I did was quote unquote party in Miami this whole trip.
Worked the whole time.
I'm like, and I start to try to justify it. And I'm like, you know what? Ashley and I worked all day long from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Then we did 2 and then I'm like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
I don't care about this at all.
But we still know I'm like the favorite. My mom wrote I mean, she loves me and my brother equally, but I feel like you'll appreciate this. She wrote a speech she was going to give at my brother's rehearsal dinner.
Heather, this was insane. We were all in the room in the morning and it was her best friends, family, me and Ashley, and she's writing the wedding speech for Ashley, and the entire speech is about Ashley. She says Ashley's name 17 times before she says the bride's name.
Yeah. I'm very into this.
About all the ways Ashley contributed by like booking the house and paying for things. And she's so wonderful. So no one wants to like be the first one to say it. Like I was like, do I tell her she shouldn't bring up all the money Ashley spent, or we should just let her fly with it?
Yeah, she's like, thank you so much, Ashley, for your generous donation for the rehearsal dinner.
That's literally how it starts. She was like, I'd love to thank Ashley for this, and this, Ashley this, Ashley that. And Raina was like, I think you should go upstairs, Cindy, and work on and come back down with a new draft. And she came back down and she had crushed it. It was like a whole new speech.
I was like, who did you meet up there?
It was very
I was like,
fun.
can I get a shout out? You know?
My mom has gotten so comfortable with me, like, because it was such a struggle for so long. Like, really, just there were days where I'm like looking for, change in the couch cushions. But now my mom, who's like an independently wealthy woman, she hasn't paid for a lunch in the last like 5 years. I literally am at lunch and I'm like, she's like, we can split it. I'm like, Mom, you could buy lunch once, okay? Look, I love taking care of you. I'm so glad that is like, we're in a different situation. It's by all means, let me pay you back. But there are days which you want to split it? I'm like, it's a $50 fucking lunch, Mom. You can pay for it.
You got this.
You got this, girl. Just like, I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck?
Don't you want to feel like a mom today?
Take care of me.
Take care of me.
I have a full-grown toddler at home, which is my husband. I've got a crazy fucking French bulldog, and then I have this other toddler, Robin McMahan. She's 74 from Boston, and I don't know what to do. Like, I don't get a day off. And people are like, when are you gonna have kids? I'm like, I have 3 fucking kids right now.
Let's talk about rigatoni.
Oh, rigatoni.
The dog, not the pasta.
Yeah, he's the best thing in the world. I do understand. Like, I've been asking my girlfriends who have kids, right? I'm like, when does that maternal instinct kicked in? Where you're like, this is it. My body's telling me I'm ready. I'm craving a baby. And then I got this fucking dog. And I was like, if people wouldn't shame me, I would let that thing suckle on my teat. I love that dog so much. I want to do skin to skin, breast to breast, mouth to breast, whatever. Like, I love that dog.
I really feel like that. Like, I told Raina, I looked at my camera roll on Sunday night from last weekend. I had taken 100 photos of Azul. 100.
I get it.
He wasn't doing anything different. Like sometimes I like get in so close and I'm like, I got to tell myself, like, I'm not going to make out with them. Like,
but I would if he looked at me like a little wink, I'd be like, yeah, you know what I mean? When Rigatoni yawns, I put my nose in his mouth to smell his breath. Who the fuck does that?
I know.
A psycho mother.
Like someone would be like, Azul smells weird. I'm like, I love it.
I love it.
I love his scent.
Gets me so hot. Yeah.
Well, we were talking about before you got here, people taking food names too far with dogs. Okay. I love Rigatoni, Riggs. Like you could go with Tony one day if you felt like mixing it up.
Very versatile.
But yesterday at the dog park, I heard a girl go, risotto, get back here. And I was like, too far.
It's too far. We've decided if you've gone into the rice varietal, if you're naming your dog Orzo or Oreo,
couscous,
it's just too far. If we want to be on the
quinoa
side of the linguine, I would name a dog linguine. That would be a hilarious thing to yell across a park.
We originally wanted to do meatball, ravioli, or rigatoni, just because, but even though this dog isn't technically Italian, he's technically a French bulldog, but we went with rigatoni.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I was like, he's like French bulldog. He's like an Italian French bulldog.
What do you mean, like pomme souffle? Like you can't name him.
Yeah, gratin, like potatoes are gratin.
I Frenchies, they just have good personalities. I mean, everyone I've ever met.
Yeah.
People want to hate, but they can't.
All I care about is Frenchies and pugs. You know this.
Oh, Raina's a pug person.
I love a pug.
A man showed me a photo of I didn't even tell you about this. I met a man with a man bun, a beard, and a blonde pug, and I just
you just
lost my
got
mind.
wet immediately.
Then I saw his wedding ring, and I was like, I have to leave this party right now.
Well, Heather, I feel like if you really want to know how the pug thing started, it was when Raina was dating the security guard from the
He has two pugs.
He had two pugs.
And I love them so much. He would send me dick pics and photos of himself. And I would be like, but can I see the dogs?
Can you put the dog behind your dick? Let's do a 2-for-1.
They're so snuggly. They're a pair. The one would die without the other. I just love them. They're a bonded pair. They're amazing.
I will tell you right now though, because I have a fawn Frenchie with a dark mask, the way that pugs are. If somebody comes up to me though and they're like, is that a pug? I will fucking stab him in the throat.
Yeah. You should be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I'm literally like, no, that's a goddamn Frenchie. Love pugs, but if you think my dog's a pug, I will murder you.
Totally different facial and ear structure. Completely different
vibe. I think the hardest you've laughed today is when I told you were like, you guys are out here hooking up with security, and I go, Raina dated the security guard.
Listen, I love a work crush, right? I feel like no matter what, you go into any theater, I kind of look around, I'm like, okay, if my husband wasn't here, who would I fuck? I don't know.
Okay.
For those of y'all who don't know, the people that work at theaters are terrifying.
Okay. I have never been more attracted to a man in my life. I haven't. He's not Ashley's type, but I think he's so gorgeous. He's bald with a beard, 2 full sleeves. He walked up to the stage at the Charleston Music Hall. We just got there, and we were talking about security. You had just been at the Charleston Music Hall, and there was all kinds of shit.
So they were extra
happened.
Security because of your show. They were like,
show, and
we got to make sure no one dies tonight.
This guy walks up to the stage and he spreads both arms, just full wingspan on the stage, and he was like, so what do you girls want me to do tonight? And I was like, I am gonna let you ruin my life.
Yeah.
I'll let you do anything you want. I slept through my flight so I could fuck him again the next day.
Good for you.
At the Bella Grace.
Yeah, at the Hotel Bella Grace. Shout out to them.
Well, I don't know that you would have even met him had Heather's fans not ruined the Charleston Music Hall. He came out
That's my gift to you right now.
He came out of the shadows to be like, what do we need to do?
They had to call him back up. They were like, we need the big guns here.
He had to stand next to the steps, full body mass, just a giant man, arms crossed, not letting girls up on the stage. I was in the middle of a bit and I made eye contact with him and I was like, I would let you murder me.
Yeah. I let you just pound the pussy as hard as possible.
And then I did.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
God, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. Shout out to Jeff. Love my husband.
We love Jeff.
But I think about those days where you just had those random wild nights. And I lived a life.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that today. I don't know your history. Were you a drunk slut? Or were you a little more tame? You just found out what cuckolding is recently. So
I didn't know what cuckolding was, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm not okay. Okay, I was listening to one of Jeff's bro podcasts in the car, and they brought up cuckolding, and I literally paused. I go, "What is that?" He goes, "You're a fucking comedian. You don't know what cuckolding is."
Men cannot talk about it enough. Women do not talk about this concept. Men can't stop.
But let me just make sure I have it right. Cuckolding is when, say, Jeff were to get off by knowing that somebody else is fucking me.
He wants to watch it.
Oh, he wants to watch. It's not like this is happening.
He is watching.
He is watching.
He's in the room.
Actually, hold on. I don't hate this because then I'm still having a good time. But if he thinks that I'm going to sit in a corner and let him bang abroad, he's out of his mind.
It does rare.
It goes both ways.
Yes. It's like an emasculation thing. Like somebody, it's usually involves somebody with a bigger dick that's like pleasing your wife. Also, like we talked about it on an episode. Like I love when a girl like that got the security guard every time I went out with them. Every girl in the place was I fucking him. I loved that. But like, yes, men want to sit in the corner and jerk off to like the thought of you getting fucked by somebody else.
So not the thought, the
visual.
So they're just jerking in the corner.
They don't have to be. They could be doing it. They could be on their iPad.
Later.
I mean, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, they'll jerk off later.
I can't. I'll tell you what. Okay, what was I like before Jeff? I mean, I definitely had my wild days. I mean, we've been together a long time, but I just think about like, God, if I had to get back into dating, like that's fucking brutal. A, I don't trust anyone. Yeah. I don't trust a soul. And then B, I would just... fuck, I'm like an old married lady where I'm like, he knows what to do. We have great sex.
Yeah.
And I don't have to explain anything to you.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
I want to get dick down on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. There's nothing awkward about it. And then we both go to Whole Foods together and figure our lives out.
That's the perfect Atlanta life, by the way.
That is, isn't
I've lived that life. So is there anything, somebody asked this, one of our listeners, asked what they wanted to know. Any weirdness with the mom in the house? Or do you guys, is it big enough that like she can't even hear what's going on in your wing?
Well, so we do have a very big spread, but I'll tell you what, Robin McMahan wants to be in the thick of everything. Again, if she could hold the camera, she would. She loves it. She literally be like, if I come down in a robe with like a light glow, she'll be like, oh, okay, somebody had a good morning. I'm like, Mom, quit making this uncomfortable. Now, my parents growing up,
I'm glad you're taking care of Jeff's needs.
Yeah, exactly. Not worried about you. Growing up, my parents would always on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m., they'd come down the stairs both in robes, and I knew that they had just fucked. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up in that household where my parents were very touchy-feely, and it was a very sex-positive environment, which was fantastic. Yeah. So I have a very comfortable sense of like Jeff and I will make sex jokes around my mom. It's just, everybody's in on it. It's not weird. Okay. You know what I mean? But there are days where I'm like, is my mom listening? Like, I'm literally like, is she outside the door? Like, you got this, kids, go for it.
I mean, I'll take that versus the sex negative. Like, I feel like that's what fucks people up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ashley's mom listened to me have phone sex 2 days in a row.
At the rehearsal, like in the house for my brother's wedding.
That Ashley paid for.
Yeah. Let's not forget I paid for the house.
I woke up in the morning the first time and I felt so bad and so guilty. And I went downstairs and I was like, okay, if no one says anything, no one heard this. Because Ashley's family will make fun of you. They're open. They're funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around, like waiting for some weird eye contact. No one makes it. She waited for Ashley to come downstairs to call me out on it. Yeah.
So you were just having phone sex in the other room?
Yeah.
Just moaning and groaning, or what were you doing?
I thought you were trying to keep it respectful. You weren't trying to be like an asshole. Like, let me wake this family up.
I was under a couple of blankets. I was whispering.
The problem is if you have your ear pods in, you know what I mean? Then you just don't realize
loud.
You're talking so loud. You're like, give it to me, daddy. And the whole house is like, God damn it. Shut the fuck up.
That is so funny. Your AirPods in, your noise canceling ones, you're screaming.
Yeah, you can't have in the Bose if you're going to be, having that phone sex.
I think the best part is to find like family members that are just like right in the middle. Like there's people that make it weird.
Yeah.
It's like they want to know too much information about your sex life. I don't like that. Yeah. And then there's the sex negative stuff. I like somebody right up the middle lane.
I mean, I think about the shit that I got into before I met Jeff, and it was just like slightly, honestly, when I look back, like a little bit terrifying. I was dating this guy in New York. This is before Bumble, this is before any of these apps. And I met this guy on Match.com because I was like, I was 22 in the city. I was like, I'm going to find like a sophisticated man. Met this guy. It was great. All I know is we got on a couple dates, and then one day I woke up, it covered head to toe in baby oil in his apartment, and he lived in this old chocolate factory in Soho. He was like a really wealthy guy, but I woke up and I was just like, when you're like, I don't know what the fuck happened, and just head to toe slick, covered.
In your sleep,
I don't know if he just, we did it, we fell asleep. That was consensual, but I don't know why I woke up so lubricated the next day.
Your whole body, like your arms?
Whole fucking body.
Like your upper or your shoulders.
Everything. Lubed up, hair, moist. All of it.
Yeah. Fresh out of massage.
And I literally slipped out of bed and I went downstairs. I didn't say goodbye. And there was downstairs. He lived above that Popeyes on Canal Street. And I went outside and I literally paid a cab driver at like 4 a.m., $20. I was like, please take me home. And he was like, you're too sticky. I go, please take me home. Yeah. And I went home.
So much sex with so many people, and no one has ever told me you're too sticky to get in this car.
You're too slick.
I was too slick. The cab driver was like, "Nope, you're too slick." I go, "Here's cash."
I have fucked in cabs. I have sucked dick to completion in cabs. No one has stopped me.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. pre-Uber, like the beginning when I first got to New York. Yeah, absolutely.
Just like an old yellow cab, just a dusty cab sucking dick in the back.
Yeah, well,
good for you.
The seats are higher, like and then there's just
pre-COVID.
like that. There's that window. Like I wouldn't suck dick in an Uber where there's no barrier.
Yeah, I feel you.
I have, I have
just in the back of like some old woman's Camry, just like whip it out, ready to suck some dick.
Well, I feel like they'd be like, you got to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not afraid to be like, this ride is over.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
I have a
wall
family
in
at
the
home.
ride. Yeah. There's a wall in a cab at least,
Well, I picked Raina up one time to go to the airport to go on tour, and I like had my vibrator charging in the back of the Uber. She's like, what is your life? I was like, I think I brought the wrong USB.
The USB port in this guy's car. He just handed her. She plugged her vibrator in.
I mean, I wanted to make sure that I had brought the wrong. That was a crazy story. That was in Nashville. I was trying to fuck this guy. It was a mess. But
I had to talk dirty to myself to masturbate.
Yeah, there you go.
I was out loud talking dirty to
play
myself.
two parts. She's like a one-woman show, like you.
It was great.
Okay, so you are trying to have kids?
Okay, this is where I'm at in my journey. So I decided to freeze my eggs, right? Because I was like, oh, I want to be proactive. Life is busy. She's booked. She's busy.
Yes.
I'm going to freeze my eggs. And then I started the process and I realized I don't have many eggs. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know what you don't know about fertility until you look into it.
Yeah.
And then it became one of those things, like it was basically at the top of this year, I went for my annual and my gyno was like, Heather, if you want any chance of children, you got to like do this now. And my mom had me at 40, so I didn't think this was going to be a problem.
Okay.
So then I went through the process of freezing my eggs and I was like, I didn't know shit about shit until I started doing this. And I did it wrong. And thank God I have a fucking podcast because I talked about how I did it. I did one of the rounds of drugs wrong. Like I was pre-batching the drugs. And
The doctor wasn't telling you to do it?
no, they send you home with loose instructions. Like there's not, I mean, I probably should have done a better job at Googling. I tell everybody else Google things
They
and I
should have
don't.
done a better job. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I agree. And the nurse called me, like I basically threw like $25,000 down the drain because I fucked up 2 rounds of IVF. I didn't know you weren't supposed to pre-batch the drugs and then put them in your fridge. And that's what I was doing. Because that way I'd have all my drugs for the week. And they were like
the instructions should be so explicit.
yes.
For $25, it should be explicit. For
Like I'm like, we gotta get on a Zoom every day.
There should be no
walk
margin
me
for
through
error.
this.
I learned after that, the first round, that you can like hire a nurse to come to your house. But then after the second round, I was like, no, now I know what I'm doing. Now I'm ready. And I was just like, this is inconvenient. I will say this. I only say this. I had to also be on a lot of extra drugs. It was much more expensive for me because I had to prep myself too. So like for a month or two beforehand, I had to be on all these other drugs to really like grow my eggs. So I had a totally different experience. And I share it because I'm like, listen, let me be the guinea pig. Let me go through it. I mean, there's so many hilarious moments, but let me go through it so that other women can be like, oh, this is what not to do. You know?
So do you mind me asking you how many eggs did they find when they first did the initial?
No, that's fine. So, okay, this is how it works. Originally, they were like, through a cycle, I maybe have like 7 eggs, but that doesn't mean that those eggs will then end up to like a mature phase.
Right.
So then when I finally did my last round, I thought I was going in for 1 Hail Mary, and it's pretty expensive to do the retrieval. And I said, well, this is not worth it. I'm not going to do it. My doctor was like, no, I have a good feeling. Just go for it. You've already done this much. Go for it. So then they were able to get 3 eggs. Then when they tested them, I was only ended up with 1 embryo.
Okay.
So I have 1 embryo somewhere on ice.
Sitting like that's fertilized with Jeff.
Fertilized with Jeff.
Which is better.
Yes, it is.
Allegedly. I don't know.
But no, they also don't tell you though, like the statistics of actually then fertilizing that or not fertilizing, sorry, inseminating that and it lasting is like, it's like 40%. And now granted, I don't want to like misinform people. I've never tried to get physically pregnant on my own. So Jeff and I have never tried, gone for it.
Okay.
But what I was trying to do was be proactive. So in the next year or two, I would
you're not
have,
ready, you mean?
Yeah, I'm not ready because there's just so much stuff going on with
Yeah, of
work.
course.
So I was like, let's put this on ice and be proactive. But then when I started doing it, they were like, we're not getting any eggs. Like this is your fertility chances are very low. So then it became like, if somebody tells you can't have something, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And I just started sharing it with people, but it was just such a wild ride of I didn't know what I didn't know. So if anybody's listening to this, I encourage you, young women, especially if you're younger, go, if you can't afford it, or a lot of people's companies will pay for it.
If you have that insurance, do it now.
If you have the insurance, do it now because you don't know. Now I'm like, okay, we want to start trying in the next year. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I'm hoping that, Lord willing, that we'll be able to just get pregnant on our own, but I needed that backup. So that's when I got nervous. I was like, well, fuck, I need that backup because I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. Have you talked to Casey Balsham at all? Have you recorded
Yes. I adore Casey. Casey and I talk about it. I want to come see her show, but I chose this weekend.
Her show was incredible.
I just ordered her a hat, like not pregnant.
Not pregnant.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. If you guys are ever in a city where Casey Balsham is, go see her
She's
comedy.
everything.
This
Amazing.
material is so
It's
special,
incredible.
like
Yeah.
that she's talking about this, and you too. Like I don't know you so deeply. Like I don't know if you like lay in your bed and cry ever, but
Right.
at least what you put out there is like this fucking sucks, and I'm dealing with it. And I'm going to try to make jokes and keep it
Yeah.
light, even though it's like a struggle. And that's
Right.
kind of what she's doing too. Like it doesn't need to be crying on Instagram story. We can share these experiences and still have some laughs because it's fucking nuts.
Yes, and I think more people need to talk about this. Like I had this crazy experience with this, and I'm not going to name the company I went to, but like I walked into the office and I was like, this is too nice. It's very odd. It looks like a Pinterest board. And I went, they're the people.
I know where you went.
They're the people that told me that it was 10,000. It became 18,000, and they got shut down like not too long after I had the appointment. And I was like, something shady is going on here. So like the more that people can talk about this and bring light to the fact that like your doctor didn't tell you how to mix this medication, like there's nothing wrong with you if like you're like, this seems fucking weird, because it probably is weird. It could be. Ask more questions.
I had a great doctor. I won't blame her. It was honestly, it was user error, and I have a whole bit in the tour right now explaining kind of how I fucked things up. But I mean, but you just don't know. And I will say, I had like a real moment when I did the first round, and they're like, you didn't get any eggs. It broke my heart. Like I did have that moment, crying in my car, thinking I didn't think I wanted to be a mom tomorrow. But now when somebody tells you can't have it, you're like, what does that future look like? So the fact that we got one embryo is amazing, and it's weird. Like I have a daughter on ice. They tell you. I was like, what's the sex of the baby? They're like, it's a girl. I'm like, that is so bizarre, and science is so cool.
Yeah.
But I talk about it in a humorous way because I want people to still like look into it. If you can afford it, if your insurance will pay for it, it's nice knowing I have something there, you know. But I will tell you, it's a fucking roller coaster. They don't tell you when you're beefing yourself up on testosterone and progesterone and all this shit. I lost my goddamn mind. I was a monster. Yeah.
Really?
Like just emotional, like
emotional, horny, just like rubbing myself against things at Trader Joe's. Yeah. I mean, just losing my, literally, I was just, I got it. I sympathized for like a split second.
Yeah.
And I talk about this so much in the show, but I was on so much testosterone. I was like, I now understand why dudes act the way they do. For like a split second, I was like, I get it. Cause I was beefed up, roid raging, like crying in my car, just horny all the time. It was bizarre.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I still feel like it could still just work out the old school way.
It could. And I think
your dad watching over you, he's like, I'm going to make sure this shit happens.
Thank you. And that is the one thing I think about while having sex in my house all the time. I've stopped in the middle of like pumping. I've been like, Jeff, can my dad save me? He's like, God damn it, Heather. No, he can't. Shut the fuck up. I always think that. I'm like, is my dad watching me fuck right now? I'm sorry, you know, but a sex positive environment. Yes.
Yeah. You're like, I think we got one. That one's for you, Dad.
That's for you, Dad.
Feel pregnant.
That shot was for you, Dad.
Yeah. But then I also think like Jeff and I was off birth control for a long time, and Jeff and I, you know, we pull and pray, or like we're I guess careful. And I never once had a scare. Yeah. And then it started to click. I was like, wait a minute. Oh shit. This is all starting to add up. Like maybe we actually did. And I have a normal period. My period's every 28 days. Like everything's normal with that, but you just don't know. Your egg count apparently is you're born with a certain amount. And then as you age, they kind of drift off.
I can't believe people that go through it once and go through it again. Like it is so brave.
Oh, people who message me were actively doing IVF, because what I did was just egg freezing.
Right.
But then eventually I would have to do a round of IVF to then implant the baby. People are like, I've done IVF, this round of drugs like 6 or 7 times. I don't know how you do that.
Oh my God.
I do not know how you do that. That is so just the emotional, the physical. I mean, I put on like 10 pounds. I was just bloated.
Even the financial, like
the financial, people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a baby.
And it's just, what else in the world can you even compare this to where like it may not work out and you don't get your money back? I mean,
Great point.
What else is even, I mean, I get it. I understand it, but it's just like, there's such a huge chance this won't work, and there's no recourse. Like, I feel like I'd be like, I need a refund.
Ashley needs a refund. Ashley's like, I've been stabbing myself with a needle for months.
Yeah.
That was the other thing too, though. After doing that, giving myself shots, I was like, women, I've always said women can do anything, but literally we can do fucking anything.
Oh, it's insane to me what women can go through.
I was like in the thick of finishing some scripts, doing stuff, getting prepared for tour.
Yes.
And every day I'd have to give myself 5 shots to maybe get 1 egg out of this deal. I was like, this is insane. How we don't have a female president, I don't understand.
I know we're like the last country that does it. it.
I know.
Right.
I got an IUD put in, and it's great. I'm very, very happy with it.
Those
I
are
love
painful.
the doctor who did it. She was wonderful. My first couple periods, I thought I was like, how can a person bleed this much? I'm like hemorrhaging blood. I went to see a movie with my boyfriend, and I sneezed in the movie theater, and I was like, we have to go.
Yeah, the super tampon just exploded.
Tampon exploded in the movie theater. I was like, Ashley, I don't even know what to do. Like, I used to be able to have sex through my period. It was no big deal. I was totally fine. Like, I've always had the most mild period. The amount of blood hemorrhaging out of my body. I'm like, if a man dealt with this for 1 hour, I'm dealing with this for 10 days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then what we do on top of it, we fucking work and perform and go do all this stuff. Like when we feel like shit.
That is the biggest thing. Jeff, I love him, but he got whatever cold a little while ago. And I was like, honey, if you were bleeding out of the tip of your dick once a month and felt as shitty as I did, you couldn't do anything. You have a low grade fever. Take a Tylenol and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A man gets sick and it's like the end of the world.
I know.
End of the fucking world.
All right, we have some questions, but I have a burning question for you.
Yeah.
And this will come out in 2 weeks, so it won't be as fresh. But what do you see for Britney?
Wow. Okay. That's a loaded question.
Let's talk about it forever.
Because she's posting about kittens and babies.
So actually, I saw the post last night where it said 2 days ago she said I want a baby girl, and then she said I want a baby kitten. Can't have both. You know what I mean? Or maybe you can.
Those are very different things.
They are.
We got to be in different places in our life to have a kitten versus a human.
I feel this. People ask me all the time, Heather, Britney 911, right? I kind of started the snowball effect.
You were really a pioneer in the movement. Like I feel like when she was thanking the Free Britney movement, like you were a part of that.
And I like to take credit for that. I would. I mean, I love Britney. Thank God she has her money. She should be independent for how hard she's worked. And she put this really sweet post up the other day that was just like, I finally feel free for the first time in my life. But I will say there's still a little behavior that is maybe a touch unhinged. Concerning.
Her voice is at least a little bit back to normal.
Yes.
So you hear somebody that does sound a little more lucid, which is good.
That video was like when I hear her real voice and when she does sound lucid, it like breaks my heart because we're like, oh my God, you were a prisoner and we were hearing your prisoner voice. But yeah, I hope everything goes well. It feels a little like, let's not go crazy here, because, I hope she still has the right people in place because we were saying she can do whatever she wants, but you still need people, trustworthy people to manage your money and shit. We do, so I hope it's
totally
all
agree with you.
Good to go. And if it seems like everyone in the family was fucked, like she threw her mom under the bus, the dad, the sister, like who really is helping her?
And I've heard, listen, when you're from the South, like, everybody, okay? And I've heard people on like Jamie Lynn's side who are like, you have no idea what we've been dealing with from like that side, like Jamie Lynn's, the sister, not the dad. What's his name?
Jamie. His name's Jamie.
She's Jamie.
Mom's name is Lynn.
Yeah. That's why it's also confusing.
If you guys don't know that, Jamie Lynn. Wait.
But Jamie Lynn she's not the monster. You hear both sides. I'm like, listen, something had to be put in place for a reason. We don't know what that is, but I respect Britney. She should be able to control her own money and do her own thing.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that Halloween post where she was just laying dead like a corpse with blood all over her in her Sophie shorts, that's not concerning. That threw me off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's very different, but when someone gets out of actual prison, you have to reacclimate to real life. And hopefully there's people surrounding you to help you do that. So I just hope she's got it.
What was the most heartbreaking is the other day in this like really long, almost like manifesto post she put, she said, I finally get the keys back to my car.
I know.
Like the thought of not being able to drive.
I know.
And originally when Britney 911 started, I said, listen, Britt, I'll come over to the house. We'll go to Cheesecake Factory. We'll kiki and just figure it out.
I feel like she needs you.
Britt, call me, girl. I'm here.
We'll go to Cheesecake Factory. I'll sit next to you guys at another booth.
That's fine. And we could just like share iced teas and like, some cheeseburger egg rolls.
Brown bread. Love it.
I just want, I think she needs some girlfriends because I don't know if she has girlfriends.
Well, she said that she doesn't. I don't think she's been like allowed to. And like, it's so crazy. In one of the more recent documentaries about her, it says like very little is known about her life over this like 5-6 year period. Like, I don't think she had anybody around her.
No,
she's been the prisoner.
Poor girl.
Listen, get in that convertible, drive around Mulholland and go to the Cheesecake Factory and live your fucking life.
Amen. Okay, we are going to go through some of these questions our listeners had for you. This first one right out of the gate, one I'm dying to know too. Do you have a favorite Delta Sky Club?
Oh, so the one in Seattle's really nice. The Delta Sky Club, they redid a couple years ago. It's very chic, but also Austin.
Did we go in Austin?
We went in Austin. I went in Seattle recently.
Did you go to the big one in Austin, that really fancy, brand new modern one? It's very she.
Okay.
Seattle has like really tall ceilings.
Yes.
And it's like, it's curved. There's tons of windows.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
It's very, they redid one. Was it Seattle or was it San Francisco? Oh, fuck. No, maybe it was San Francisco.
Seattle's nice too, though. I went there recently.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful. I had like a late night flight and I had like 3 glasses of wine and a cup full of cheese, and it was amazing.
I'll tell you, the saddest Delta Sky Club is in Memphis. We got to bump it up. We need a little makeover, Delta.
Okay.
You know I love you, but that is a sad, sad Sky Club. Atlanta, too, is just so fucking packed. Like the best Sky Club in Atlanta is actually at the T Gates. It's secret because T Gates used to only be American. So if you're at the T Gates, you see a coffee bean in this place called Poppy's. It's a little Cuban spot. You literally go down a hall, and that's one of the best Sky Clubs.
Okay. No one has a better buffet. This is shocking than LAX.
Oh, yeah, it is lit. They've got every kind of dip. They have
Soup,
full hot bar.
burgers,
yeah.
wraps.
Yeah.
That's my favorite buffet, LAX.
I'm very with you. I love a fucking buffet.
All right. What's your last meal on earth?
It's be a spread of shit. Probably a wedge salad. I know that's controversial. I love blue cheese, bacon, and all the things that come with that.
Would you make them chop it for you though? Like you're not chopping up a wedge yourself.
I'm not chopping up a wedge myself, but well, actually, no, I don't mind cutting through it. But if they want to chop it, I will take that extra set of help.
I ask
She
people
makes
to
them
chop
chop
it.
it.
I make them chop it.
Well, you're a bougie bitch, Raina, and that's why I love you.
I'm not here to do work. You do the work for me. I'm here so that
She's
you
small.
Can do the
She's
work.
smaller than us. You know, like we got a lot more hand to get in there.
I don't wanna
with a
do
steak
it.
knife.
Yeah.
She's too small to get in her wet. She's got to have her chop.
Toss it for me.
I would chop if we were at a nice steakhouse. I would chop all the salads for you. I would do that for you.
I would also need you to take the tails off the shrimp. Don't serve me anything in a shell. I hate it. It's a whole thing.
Oh wow, no, you're actually a weak human. You can't handle.
Here's what I don't understand. Why are we putting shrimp with shells in pasta? I got to reach my hands into boiling hot liquid.
I hear you.
And remove the shrimp tail when you could have just done it for me at a nice restaurant. I'm sticking my fingers in wet pasta.
No, I fully actually hear you on that.
They want you to think it's fresh. That's
Yeah.
the reason, right?
That's fucking stupid. Well, shells add more flavor. That's why. And that's why you make broth with shells. But take it off for me.
It's insane to have to get a shrimp out of a pasta. What do you got to put it on your plate, take the tail off, put it back in the pasta.
And I still haven't like been able to figure out crab claws. Like I don't care if they bring you the bib, the fucking clamper. I'm literally somehow it's in the back on a back molar, and everyone in the restaurant's like, "Don't do it."
I don't want
I
it.
can't get it.
My fingers are all swollen and clammy. I got lemon juice all over myself, so I can take 3 bites of food.
I hear you.
Take it out for me.
I like picking crabs just being from Delaware, like Delaware, Maryland. But like I turn into a child. I'm like, Dad, can you crack this? Like he hands me a piece. He's like, it's going to be a good one. Like when I was a kid, he'd be like, it's like a popsicle. Like, you know, parents say weird shit to get you to eat it. Like I'm just fully regressed.
I don't want it. I saw this morning one of my favorite chefs. He has a clam pizza. The clams came out of the oven on the pizza in the clam shells.
Oh no, I don't fuck with that.
They stuck clam shells in an oven. So I have to get 3rd-degree burns on my fingers while I try to get the clams off this temperature-sensitive item, which is a pizza.
No, if it's a pie, you're not fucking with the pie because that's a slice. You throw it back. No, that's fucked up. Actually, you should report whoever that is to the Better Business Bureau.
Right. I don't seafood pizza. What are we doing? Are you serious?
Well, clam pizza is like a thing.
Yeah,
It's like a Connecticut thing, like clam pizza. It's good.
I don't want it. I don't want seafood on my pizza, nor do I want a burrata on my pizza. Like I just want these things separate.
I will eat a clam pie. I love it. It's like a big.
Right, that's just me.
Is
Yale?
burrata too milky for you on the
just
pizza?
Like I want a burrata and then I want a pizza.
I hear you. Yeah.
Why do we have a runny, watery burrata on this
Non-melted.
pizza?
I absolutely understand you. People get controversial. They're like, do you put pineapple on your pizza? I'm like, here's the thing. I'll eat anything on pizza. If there was a fruit component, fantastic. Like a soft peach, I'll fuck it up because I don't care. I love it all.
I like that energy. Pineapple on pizza, like people that go off about that. I saw some meme the other day and it said like, if you talk about how much you hate the word moist, your sense of humor peaked in 2011.
Thank God.
And I feel like it's the same energy of like, yeah, hot take.
Yeah.
Pineapples on pizza. I see somebody on Hinge. He's like, let's discuss this. Pineapples on pizza. I'm like, get a personality.
Please come up with something original. Also, I love the word moist. It's always been something that's just, some things are dry, some things are moist. Get over it.
There's no better word for a cake
than moist.
Piece of cake in Atlanta, best cake in the world. There's no other word. What's the other word?
Wet, not dry.
Spongy?
Yeah.
It makes me a little uncomfortable.
Really? Like it says Duncan Hines, moist vanilla. That's in the title. I don't. Yeah, people need to quit being so fucking sensitive.
But like,
Raina, you're one of those.
It's kind of weird to me. I got a speeding ticket once, and this traffic cop came over.
Where are we going with this? Where the fuck are we going with this?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I thought I knew her.
I'm here. I'm locked and loaded.
I got a speeding ticket. I got 2 speeding tickets in one day. It was a whole thing. I was 19 though. I was 19, and this traffic cop came around to the window, and he was already wearing this dumb hat with his weird chin strap around his chin that looked weird. And he was like, "Let me see your license, registration, whatever." And I pulled out the insurance from his car, and it's on the envelope for the insurance. It said "moist when wet." And I burst out laughing reading this, and he gave me a ticket because he was like, "You need to take this seriously." And I was like, "It says moist when wet on the envelope. You feel me? This is funny."
Also, that doesn't even make sense. Obviously, it's wet. When it's wet,
Right.
it's wet. What do you mean it's moist when it's wet?
Like that-
if it's wet, it's wet.
It was an envelope, and it was just letting you know if you like if you make it moist, it'll be wet, it'll stick. I don't know. It made no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
I love that that was triggering for you. I mean, if I get pulled over, I'm just immediately shit myself and I'm like, take me to jail. I mean, I'm such a baby back bitch. I'm like, I didn't do anything but just handcuff me and let me figure my life out.
It was my second speeding ticket of the day, so I was already
Of
like,
the
I
day?
can't believe this is happening.
What do you want, a fucking Vespa going up the West Side Highway? What are you doing, Raina?
How did you do that, Raina?
So me and Figgins, Blake's wife, Figgins, our biggest fans, we were taking my stepdad's car to my stepdad's place in New Jersey so I could pick up a different car. It's a whole thing. I didn't get a driver's license until I was 18. I was a very late driver. So
bloomer.
I hadn't taken a long car trip anyways. This is probably my first long car trip. And in the first part of the trip, we were driving, and this guy pulled up next to us, and he was jerking off in his car. And
I've had that happen before.
we were laughing so hard, so I started flying away from this car. And I got a speeding ticket for that, and I was like, I can't explain this to a cop. I'm just going to take the ticket.
Yeah.
And then that was in Pennsylvania, and then in New Jersey, a couple hours later, I got my
Another man was masturbating in his car.
Full roadhead. I'll tell you what it is. There is a thing that you feel weirdly invincible,
Right?
Because you're like, there's no way I'm going to get one again. Like, there's no world in which I'm going to get a speeding ticket again. I've already got one.
Yeah, because statistically, the odds are very low, right?
So you feel a little like invincible, and then they're like, just kidding.
And then I would have, but for the second one, that's when I would have been like, there was a man masturbating in the car. Like you should have brought it around full circle.
Yes.
I know. I panicked. I got scared. That was a crazy day.
Okay, a couple more short
Seems
ones.
like it. That was a crazy day.
Do you have any quick answer for how to find and keep your resilience in career pursuits?
Yeah, I've realized I only work really well in 2 modes, like just full throttle, or I'm like a dead corpse on a beach somewhere. I mean, there is no middle ground. It's like I constantly just have to keep going. I think because in comedy specifically, we're very self-starters. We've always written our own shit. We're always creating our own stuff. Like I have a script that I've been doing this developmental deal.
Oh, yeah.
And then but it's like the script is now sitting on somebody's desk. This is the business. I turned this in 2 months ago. It was like a race to the finish line, and I'm proud of the work. And now they're like, okay, we'll wait for this woman Lisa to read it 4 months later. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I think the other aspects of the business, and I know this can relate to anything, but when the things are out of your control, it's like I can only do so much. But then when it comes down to somebody else making a decision on the work that I've done, that's a very jarring and weird thing. And it's hard to relinquish that power to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like, you hear these stories of, which I didn't like the show, but whatever, still Squid Game, the #1 show, how it got rejected, 10 times, 20 times. You gotta be screaming to yourself, this is good.
Right.
How do you're not even funny.
Yeah.
Lisa. So how do you get to decide that, I feel like that's such a frustrating thing of someone else having the control that you don't even think that they're funny or creative.
Yeah. And whether
not always, hopefully you have people that are,
Yeah, but even if it's not talking about if this person is in entertainment, they're like, just how do I keep, on the path? It's like, you either know what you want to do or you don't. Yeah. But I always say, stay in your lane, figure out what you're good at, and then just go full throttle there. Literally to pull Lorena, go 150 miles down the Autobahn.
You just saw someone jerking off.
Next to you at all times.
I realized early on, I was like, I'm good at one thing, and it's giggles and I need to stick with that. And then I just got hyper focused on it. And I just went 100 miles down, the highway. And I did that. Like I could never be an accountant. I would, you'd end up audited by the IRS so fucking quick. You'd end up in jail. Like we would forget to file everything. So it's just like find out what you're good at and then stay in that lane and fucking go for it.
And I think people get tripped up with being 100 miles down the road because people probably see you or a successful person. They're like, I want that. How do I get there? And it's like, just worry about being on this road in this lane right now. Cause like people are like, how do I get there? It's like, I can't explain it. You got to try to do it and just figure it out.
I have young girls all the time say, hey, I want to get into comedy. What's your tips and tricks? I'm like, it's going to be 10 years. Like, hopefully if you get a bigger break, that's fantastic, but it's grimy. There's nothing glamorous. Like now on the other side, I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do, but we talk about it behind the scenes. Like work's hard, touring's hard, traveling's hard.
Yeah.
But
also the paths are so different, which
totally.
I mean, you, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, had a traditional path. You were in LA and then you kind of blew up on Instagram, like just being yourself. So I think that the way to success and fame, if that's what you want, whatever, in comedy and stuff, what are you actually doing that feels right to you? Because there are like other avenues. You don't necessarily have to go do a bunch of grimy open mics, but you got to do something.
I'm an action steps kind of gal. Like tell me what the steps are that I need to get there. And I did totally take a totally different alternative path, but I just found that way. I was like, okay, well, I'm good at this and I'm figured out Instagram. Let's just follow that path. And it's interesting now, like, getting to these shows and I see these other comedians that I've loved forever and they're like, oh, fuck. Okay. You're performing at the same place. It's like, yeah. I know we didn't come up together like the Laugh Factory, but I was doing weird avant-garde underground theater with wigs on and like figuring out my own path. So not everybody's path is going to be the same, but figure out what you're good at and then just go for it.
Right. Like you're like, I'm going to be Pitbull and do a sketch and it's going to go on Instagram.
And there we go.
Where some people wouldn't have think to do that. Like,
Dale,
you just doubled down.
Mr. 305.
All right. We have one final one. Do you want to read it, Raina?
Okay, great. Yes. Does Jeff like anal play?
Okay. Now I have a question. When you say, does Jeff like anal play? Does that mean he's touching my butthole or I'm touching his?
Talk about both.
Okay. I'm never going to touch his butthole. I'll say it right to the camera. Sweetie, I'm never going to touch your butthole.
Breaking the fourth wall.
I'm breaking the fourth wall. I don't care. I'm never going to touch his butthole.
Okay.
He's never asked for it. I one time tried to do a reach around. He was like, nope, absolutely not. Great. I know my husband. It's a loose, probably needs to see gastroenterologist situation. There is always something going on. I'm not playing with fire. I'm not going to go back there and not know what I'm going to get. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, that's real talk.
That was the best answer.
And when you're married.
Have you ever bent over and like you've looked into his asshole?
Oh, so we have like, one of those shower heads and Jeff, after we came back from Italy, loves a bidet. And the other day I was just standing like in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth, getting ready. He's in the shower, just, pressure washing his asshole. I was like, I'm standing right here. He's like, babe, I love that bidet. I'm telling you what, I feel squeaky clean when I get out of here. I'm like, I am literally staring at you pressure washing your asshole. Yeah, it's
Jeff,
too much.
Like, I just want my own Jeff. He's such an icon. He's better looking and bigger in person, which is always a treat. The first time I met him, I was like, he's tall like that?
Yeah. He's a beefy daddy. Yeah.
Thank you for your service, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
That is so funny. I'm just picturing him just going
for it. I was like, I'm standing here. Like as women, like, if like ever shaving, like it's an unflattering position. I'm up there, I got a labia pulled to the side, or maybe I'm spraying my asshole, but don't do it.
I know.
Like,
I'm giving myself like a bat wing with one of my labias. Yeah. That is so. Does he want to butt play you?
I mean, we dibble dabble. Okay. But again, I got to be honest with you. I feel like nowadays I learned what cuckold is. Everyone's like, I got 7 butt plugs. I put, a radiator up my ass. There are days too where it's like, I also have another great hole. I love my vagina. It works. We have a little tickle tangle, we'll play around, but I don't have a bunch of anal strap-ons. I'm going to be 100% honest. And people are disappointed. It's like, if you don't always say sexually, like, I take it to the next level, I've got 6 pugs and I let them watch. Then people they're very disappointed. I
always say I don't need to twist my body into a pretzel to come.
Yeah.
Like I will get on top and ride you, and a couple of like, tell me you're a dirty little slut while you choke me. Like a guy saying to me, I tell them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a bit about like sitting on your face. Like why? What am I doing? Just plopping down? What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't want that.
I don't want that.
I want to lay on my back, take a nap.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's that one girl in the group though. You always have like a group of 8 girls, and so one girl named Britney every fucking time. She's like, what the fuck? Y'all don't do this weird shit. And you're like, Britney, you don't fucking fucking do it. So don't act like you do. You don't fucking do it, you know?
But if we're talking about Britney Spears, she's going to do some shit.
But Brittany, you take all your money
Without
and get
the
weird with
cameras
it.
in the room, her and Sam are going to be really...
Live, laugh, love, bitch. We're rooting for you.
All right. Well, this was amazing.
I adore y'all.
Thank you for all your honesty, and I'm sure that everybody will be dying to like see you and find your tour and everywhere they can find you. So tell everybody where they can find you on tour, what you've coming up, what your Instagram is.
Go to heatherontour.com. We've got a ton of shows in the spring. It's going to be rowdy. We're going to keep going. So heatherontour.com. You know how to find me. Heather K McMahan on Instagram.
Yes.
K like Kardashian. Yeah.
All right. And maybe we'll meet up in some city at some point.
We have to do something.
Yeah.
Let's do a crossover
Memphis Sky
collab.
Lounge.
Let's do a show, live stream it from the Memphis Sky Club. I booked. I'll call my agent. You call your agent. Let's get it on the books.
Done and done.
Done.
All right, guys, you know where to find us. girlsgottaeatpodcast.com for merch and tour dates and everything else. Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I am Ash Hess on Instagram and TikTok. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Girls_Gotta Eat on Twitter and youtube.com/girlsgottaeat. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.